Hola y bienvenido. Hoy vamos a hablar del pretérito. Y otra vez el pretérito, yo sé. Recordamos el pretérito es el tiempo del pasado. El pretérito, this is one of our two past tenses in Spanish, right? El pretérito, our specific past tense. So today we're going to talk about cambios. So cambios are changes. So some verbs have changes, but only with specific subjects. And so I want to preface this by saying that it can be very tricky. It is hard to keep track of all of this stuff. Believe me, I've had a lot of practice trying to keep track of it all. But I just want you to be able to recognize it for the time being, okay? Recognize that there is this change that happens and when it happens. And also recognize that this in no way affects your communication ability. You should still be able to have a conversation as long as you're pronouncing everything correctly, okay? The pronunciation isn't what's changing. What's changing is the spelling. So you should still be able to have a conversation with somebody without having to worry about these spelling changes, okay? These are more so for your writing, all right? When you are writing things, it's just kind of being aware of how adding a letter or taking away a letter can change the pronunciation of something in your writing, okay? So let's get started. We're going to start with our first group, and these are ones where the change is to help the sound. I like to call this protecting the sound. Necesitamos proteger el sonido. So we're going to start with a verb like tocar. Now you'll look at tocar and you'll think, okay, tocar, it's an AR verb, and you're right. For the most part, I would just take off that AR and I would use my regular AR endings. For example, tocaste el piano. Did you play the piano? Tocaste. See? It's going to be normal. However, I run into a problem when I say something like toqué. Yo toqué la trompeta, which I did. I played the trumpet for like 1 year. Toqué la trompeta. See? If I just add my regular ending on the end, I have a problem with this sound because this now is tose. Tose. Because a C followed by an E makes a S sound, or if you are in Spain, it's toce, right? I want to protect my sound. So let's look at my original verb. My original verb here, no, it's not tacar, it's tocar. My original verb here is tocar, and my sound here is a k sound, right? So here, my problem is I have an S, but in my original, I have a k, right? I need to protect the sound. Proteger el sonido. Necesito proteger el sonido k. See? So how am I going to do that? Well, instead of a C, I am going to change it to a Q and a U. Okay? Q, U. So now I'm going to have Q, U, E. And now I have toque. Toque. Please note that this is toque. It's not toque. It is toque. My whole purpose here is protecting the sound. Toque. See? This is for any verb that ends in this car ending. Okay? Buscar, explicar, pescar, practicar, sacar. If it ends in this car ending, I need to protect the sound only when my subject is yo. Yo toque. Yo toque. If my subject is anything else, my verb is going to be normal. All right? So if I want to say usted, okay, if it's usted, I'm going to come here to my verb. I've got my verb tocar. I'm going to take off my AR and I'm going to add on my regular AR ending, which we learned a couple videos back, which is toco. Usted toco. All right? Yo no toqué la mesa, porque no quiero los gérmenos, right? Usted sí tocó la mesa y ahora estás enfermo. All right, so toqué. My change only happens when my subject is yo. And it's so I can proteger el sonido. So I can protect the sound. See? So any verb that ends in car, right? Oh, I guess I could just do that. Any verb that ends in car is going to fall into this because we want toque and not tose. See? Also, another group of these are verbs that end in gar. Okay? For example, pagar, to pay, pagar. So if my subject is yo, it doesn't want to write, there we go, yo, then I would normally take, I'm doing cargar now, pagar, I would take my ending and I would get rid of it, and then I would add on my AR yo ending, which is an E with an accent. All right, but now I have a problem with my sonido. See? If I take a look at this, my G is now making a H sound because G followed by an E makes a H sound. It's not a hard G. So over here, I have a hard G, right? This is my sound over here. It's a hard G. But here, I have a soft H sound. And that's the problem. So how, then, am I going to get from the H sound to the G sound? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. To protect my G sound, I'm going to keep my G. It's not going to change to anything else. But I'm going to add a U. Now, in English, we would look at this and we would think like, whoa, now I'm saying gua. But the actuality is in Spanish, if you have this G-U-E combination, you don't pronounce the U. The U is solely there to give me a G sound. So this becomes yo pagué. See? Yo pagué. Much like toque, we don't pronounce that U. It's just there to give me the hard G or K sound. So yo pagué. However, let's keep in mind if my subject is anything else. So if my subject, for example, is ellos, see, I'm going to follow the same thing that we did the last time, right? So I have pagar. I'm just going to take off my AR ending. I'm going to look at my chart. My new ending is amos, pagamos. I don't have to make any changes here because there is no sound I need to protect. The sound is already there. It's naturally there. Pagamos. See? The third verb that is in this group is verbs that end in ZAR. For example, cruzar, which means to cross. Now, these ones are just a little odd, and I'll explain why. So these ones really don't make a huge change, and it doesn't seem like it's protecting the sound, but there's this little odd rule in Spanish. So you can see here that my sound is s, right, as in cruzar, or if I'm in Spain, my sound is a th, cruzar. So I need to protect that sound. The problem is when my subject is yo, the problem is that I want to replace this AR with an E. And I know what you're thinking. Like, well, what's the problem with that? It still says cruce. And that's correct. It doesn't change the sound, yo cruce, yo cruce. The problem is that in Spanish, the ZE combination just doesn't exist. A Z can never be followed by an E or an I. So what we do is, to protect the sound or to protect the grammar rule, we're going to come in and we're going to get rid of that Z, and we are going to replace it. We are going to replace it with a C. Now, it does have to be replaced with a C because if we look back here, I need a S sound or a Th sound. And if I replace it with an S, I would only get the S sound, right? So to protect the sound for all Spanish speakers, we're going to replace it with the TH, or with the C, so we can also have the TH sound. See? So, cruzar, yo cruce. However, if my subject is anything else, so if for example, and I'm just realizing now that I did the wrong example. I think I said ellos and I put nosotros on the ending for the last one. So I'm really sorry about that. So if my subject is ellos, we'll do ellos here and see if I can get this right, Ms. Bates. And I have cruzar. I would just come in and I would take off this AR ending and I would put on my regular ellos ending, which would be aron. See, ellos cruzaron. See? So going back so that I do this correctly, I did nosotros pagar. So I would take off that AR ending and it would be pagamos, right? There's no change because there's no sound to protect. See? All right. Our next group of cambios. See, our next group of cambios are not really about protecting the sound. It's another weird spelling thing, kind of like cruzar, but in different subjects. So this group are verbs that have triple vowels. So let's just go ahead and jump in and you can see how it works. So we have leer, right? And leer is going to be pretty normal. I'm just going to go ahead and do the chart, right? So we're going to have yo, leí, okay? We're going to have two, now here's where it's getting a little weird, leíste. You'll notice that I'm putting tildes on these, right? We're going to have nosotros, leímos, okay? And now we're going to talk about the bottom two. So, ello, or el, or ella, or usted. This would be, if I'm doing it, if I'm following the normal thing, it would be leyo, right? Leyo. It looks very odd. So the change that is going to occur here is, because I have these three vowels in a row, ending with an O, I in the middle, what I'm going to do is, instead of EIO, I'm going to change out the regular I for the Greek I, or la I griega, and I'm going to change it to a Y. Leyó. Leyó. Ella leyó. Okay, if I come over here and I have my other ellos, right, I have leyeron. Okay, once again, I have these three vowels in a row. I have E-I-E, right? E-I-E. These three vowels in a row, and it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to replace that E with the Y, and oh, I just ended up drawing something somehow. And now I have leyeron, leyeron. Okay, this is done with other verbs as well. For example, I'm just going to erase the nosotros so you can see some of the other examples that change like this. Oír, right? Oír. It would be yo oí, pero él oyó, right? Another example would be huir. Huir means to run away, run away. And it would be yo huí, but ellos huyeron. See, huyeron. Other verbs like these are caer, which means to fall, creer, to believe, construir, to construct, destruir, to destroy, incluir, to include. They all have this change, and once again, you'll notice it happens with a particular subject. It is only happening here at the bottom, right? So when I have those three vowels in a row and that I in the middle, I'm changing it to a Y. We have one last group of changes to talk about. Like I said, I know that these are tricky. I know that you're just going to have to look for a while, but once you're aware of them, you'll start to notice them more in your reading, which is where you're really going to learn how to understand Spanish, is in by reading. And you know that. So our last group, these are ones that change a letter as well. And just like our last ones, they're only going to change down here at the bottom, all right? They're only going to change when my subject is usted, él o ella, or ustedes, ellos, or ellas. So what are these verbs? So these are verbs that already have changes in the present tense. So for example, we're going to do sentir. Sentir. Sentir is to feel, right? To feel. Sentirse. Sometimes we have the se with it. Sentirse, to feel. So if it's yo, I'm going to say yo me sentí, like I felt sad. Me sentí triste. Me sentí. Okay. If it's tú, te sentiste. Normal, regular, nothing odd here, right? Nosotros nos sentimos. Once again, regular verb. Where the change happens is down here at the bottom. So, ella se, and instead of the E right there, like I would normally do, like say sentio, it changes to an I. Say sintio. And then my ending is my regular ending. The change is just happening there in the middle of the verb. Se sintió. See? Se sintió. Or if it's ellos, it would be se. Once again, I'm just going to change this I. Se sin, and then my normal, regular ending. Sintieron. Se sintieron. So my change is just happening right there at the I. Okay, other verbs that change like this include the verb pedir. See, pedir would be pidió, right? But it would be yo pedi, pedir, to ask for, right? I'm just going to erase this so I have a little bit more space for the ones that are similar. Or another example is repetir. Yo repetí, I repeated. Ella repitió. Okay, it's always on the E closest to the end, right? Repitió. Or another one is mentir, which is to lie. I could say yo mentí, pero él mintió. Now this is just, it's such a little change, and I know so many changes going on in the world right now that it's going to be hard to keep track of it all. Sorry, I highlighted the wrong one. It is a little bit hard to keep track of it all, right? So write it down, use it for reference. But keep in mind that as long as you are saying these verbs as you know them, you're going to be okay. And it's easy for me to say, I know. It took me a really long time to get to the point where I wasn't letting grammar get in the way of my communication. So if you don't get this and it's kind of going over your head, then just let it go for a while. Get to know other things first. Read. Okay? The last change, one that we're going to talk about, it changes very similarly to all of this, but this one only involves two, but it is a verb that we use a lot, so I just want you to be aware of it. And that verb is dormir. Okay, dormir. And the other verb that is just like dormir is morir. Morir. So dormir, once again, is going to just change down here at the bottom, okay? So yo dormí, which is going to be normal. Yo dormí, tú dormiste, nothing odd there. Nosotros dormimos, once again, no change, dormimos. But down here at the bottom is where we're going to see the change. So down here we have, instead of dormió, we're going to say durmió. See, ella durmió toda la mañana. She slept all morning. Durmió toda la mañana. Okay, and then ellos, we're going to have durmieron. Ellos durmieron. Back in here, change my color. Durmier, I can't even do that today. Durmieron. Ellos durmieron 8 horas. Durmieron. And as I mentioned, morir changes just like it. Morir, which means to die. So we have morir is going to be normal, right? Yo morí, I died. Yo morí de vergüenza, right? I died of embarrassment. I died of shame. Yo morí de vergüenza. And then if it's él o ella or ellos, right? I like to say las vacas, the cows. Las vacas murieron. See? Murieron. Las vacas murieron. See? So those are the changes. And as I've said earlier, take a look at them, write them down. The practice is online, so give it a try, see how well you do. But the bottom line is to just look at it and recognize it. So if you want, even look at the answer key and just read through the answer key to start noticing the difference and seeing the difference. Once you recognize the difference, it's easier to make the difference. See? Hasta el próximo.